Hey, what is good? What is good? What is good, beautiful people? Of course, you know who I is, the good Dr. Mike, back again, once again, with another classic, well-needed, long overdue video for you guys today. Sincerely hope everybody is blessed. Sincerely hope everybody's having a good day. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, notify, make sure you check out the ebooks listed in the link in the description area below. Make sure you guys join the masterclass. It's completely awesome over there. And also make sure you check out the other secondary Patreon channel for YouTube or videos that I do not post on YouTube. In today's video, we're going to get straight to the point. No need to sugarcoat it or waste time, so let's go ahead and rip this one off like a band-aid. Should you put your girlfriend / wife and her family on your payroll / budget? Basically, should you include your girl or your wife and her family in your budget? And this is a topic that has been long overdue, something that we've been needing to discuss for a long time. And quite honestly, I'm not here to give you an answer of whether yes you should or no you should not. I'm here to give you some things to think about in reference of whether you should or should not include your young lady and or her family in your budget or your payroll. Now, when I talk about putting her in your budget and or your payroll, basically I mean when it comes to monthly expenses and things of that nature, should you include money to give her as an allowance, or for her to her family, should you include her as part of an allowance? So if you have a budget of about $1,100 a month, should you include some of the money that you pay out to the family or to your girl? Okay. Now, there are a couple of things that I want to put out there as far as energy out into the atmosphere as far as this is concerned, because there's a lot of things that I've been made aware of in certain situations that could definitely be a pro and a con. To some, it just depends on how you look at it and what your perspective brings to the table. First things first, what I've always noticed is if you're going to commit and say, yes, I'm going to put my girlfriend and her family on the payroll or fit her within my budget, make sure the number is a number that you can afford. Okay. That's always important. And I think that's pretty much a standard remedial thing to say, but a lot of people don't understand the ramifications of what comes with including certain people in the budget. Now, number one, that family is expecting that money every single month. So if there ever comes a time where you can't send that money, that could alter a lot of things in the relationship or in the response of how you are received by the family. I know that sounds a little weird, but the one time that you don't send money can sometimes be the one time that backfires, or the time where the family looks at you differently because you don't send it, should you choose to commit and say, yes, I'm going to give you money. Let's talk about that for a second. You can send them money every single month like clockwork for years and years, but the one time you don't send it, it seems like it's a little bit of a problem. That's what I've noticed over time. And also what I've noticed over time is that when you start to include certain things into the budget or into your payroll or whatever you want to call it, people tend to want more. It seems to never be enough sometimes. There's always an extra problem that comes up. There's always an extra issue that comes up that requires you to put a little bit more every single month. So let's say you agree to $200 a month, about 10,000 pesos. Okay, somebody needs to go to school, somebody's got a medical bill, somebody's got this, and there's always an additional fee. Oh, do you mind if this month you send a little extra? You send a little extra. You send a little extra. Until you're sending more money than you were previously agreed to do. I've noticed that as something that has become an issue in relation to agreeing to put the family and or your girl in the budget or the payroll. Now, I'm not saying that this is going to happen all the time, but I'm putting it out there in the atmosphere because I'm sure there are a lot of guys that have been through situations like this where it seems as though it's always asking. Now, I understand that if you've committed to being with a young lady and that young lady doesn't have work, or she's not really employed and she can't really make her own money or whatever it is for some god awful reason, or you choose to marry her and you tell her that she doesn't have to work, that is something that you are committing yourself to. So you really can't say no when the time comes. Once you've made that commitment, it's kind of hard for you to renege and say, nah, I'm not going to do it this time. because it defeats the purpose of what you agreed upon in the beginning of the relationship. Now, if you say no to saying, you know what, I'm not putting the family on the payroll, or I'm not putting the family in the budget or anything like that, expect some negative grievances towards you as the foreigner dating the Filipina. I talked about it time and time again, how the dowry system back in the day was just so easy to live by. I give you my horse or my donkey or whatever, and I'm basically paying to marry your daughter, per se, right? But nowadays it's almost as if that dowry system is something that is continuously ongoing. So whether you give money up front or whatever to pay for the daughter, I'm just being hypothetical and saying it out loud, there's always going to be something more that people need, that the family needs. There always seems to be an extension, especially when it comes to dealing with Filipino families. But again, if you're dealing with some families from some parts of the world, it could definitely be an issue. It could definitely be something that, if you're not willing to commit all the way, could definitely put you in a very, very bad spot. All right, in the eyes of the family. What I have also known to be true in relations to when you don't agree or you don't come up with something like that, if you don't agree to a set amount every month, what tends to happen is what I previously said. People will start asking for more and more and more and more. So let's say there's a bill that needs to be paid. Let's say that there's something that needs to be taken care of, and it seems like that responsibility is falling on the shoulders of your young lady, and the family is putting pressure on her, and that in turn puts pressure on you. You see how the domino effect occurs in relation to doing things like that. Now, again, I'm not saying that this is always going to be the case. As a matter of fact, if I were you, and how I encourage all of my gentlemen, have a young lady that has her own job, she's employed, makes her own money, that makes the situation so much easier. So if you do, it's not necessarily if you do consider putting the family on the payroll or the budget or whatever, but more or less if she needs additional contribution, because let's be honest, if she's working in the Philippines, you don't necessarily expect her to make a lot of money, even as a professional. Let's be honest, even your professional nurses in the Philippines now, not in the US, but your professional nurses in the Philippines, they made clear maybe $25K a month, and that's if you're lucky. That's at a government hospital, and that's putting in all the hours necessary to do so. And that's top end. At the bottom, we're looking at probably 10 to 12, as low as 7K. You understand? So I want you to understand that if you are in a relationship with a young lady who is a professional and she is working in the Philippines, you can't expect that her money is going to be a lot every month. So if you do decide to contribute, how can I say this? If you're going to contribute to what she makes to help out additionally, like, okay, look, I don't mind throwing a extra 100 on there, like 5,000 pesos or whatever. That's different. You understand? Because instead of taking care of it and including all of this into the budget, you're more or less contributing or being and adding the additional money necessary to, just help out when necessary. Not enough to break your bank. All right. Remember that it's never enough to break the bank, just enough to put a little bit to the side. Now, when I've talked to people about whether they should include the family and the girl in the payroll or the budget, I've gotten 50-50 answers, and I'm not expecting anything different when it comes to the comment section below, which I'm encouraging you guys to tell me your thoughts on this particular topic. OK, so please, please, please take care of that, and a good doc will be happy. Definitely interested to hear what you have to say. I understand that the people who are constant commenters in my comment section, I can almost get an idea of what you're going to say, but I'm going to reserve judgment, and I'm going to allow you to speak your mind. However you deem fit, you can say, yes, it's okay. No, it's not okay. And give me your reasons why. That's what I'm looking for. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it has been fun. It has been real. But the good doc is officially out. At least nako paalam, which means I am going bye-bye. As always, love you guys. Mahal kita. Mabuhay. Peace.